How's it going, guys? So, my Premier League review video, here it is. I know it's a day late, but I only had time yesterday evening to do one video. I chose to do it on that incident in the PSG game to try and get some context out there as quickly as I could. But here I am, better late than never. And yes, I know I also don't usually wear the hat, but you need to understand it is freezing in the attic. And I've also been wearing it for quite a while now, so I imagine my hair looks quite shocking. Yes, it does. Hat will be staying on. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, so starting off with who is flying high, and finally, I can give this award to Chelsea. We are now 13 games unbeaten. That's including the Champions League. I think 9 of those games were victories. So this one was a long time coming. We picked up a 3-1 win against Leeds this weekend. And I mean, that's a good result. Leeds have already shown that they're going to be a tigerish team this season. They're going to upset the big teams. They're going to win games playing well. They're going to finish mid-table. They're going to do it comfortably, but they didn't have enough to stop Chelsea. Apart from failing to keep a clean sheet, the only disappointing thing from this one is the fact that Hakim Ziyech had to go off injured. I mean, Christian Pulisic was literally just back. He was on the bench and he had to come on earlier than anticipated to replace the injured Ziyech. He should only be out for a few weeks, but even still, ahead of a big game next weekend away to Everton, he will be missed. So, for who dropped the ball, I'm going for Arsenal, who lost 2-0 to Tottenham. And I know this sounds unfair, saying that arguably the most out-of-form team in the league gets beaten by the most in-form team in the league, and somehow that means they drop the ball. But as the commentators said beforehand, when it comes to big derby games, form goes out the window. But Arsenal decided not to listen to that rule. They were defensively weak, and yes, they had a lot of the possession. I heard the commentators saying, oh, Arsenal are playing really well here. And I could just remember thinking to myself, no, they're not. They have all the ball, yeah, because Tottenham want them to have all the ball. But that doesn't mean they're playing well. They were playing shite. They spent all that possession tossing in terrible crosses into the box, and I can only remember one decent save. Well, I can only remember one save full stop from Hugo Lloris. Arsenal weren't up for this one, and I'm not going to get too carried away and say that they're actually in a relegation battle, but I'm equally confident saying that they're not troubling the top 4 this season either. For shock of the week, I'm going for that 4-0 thrashing of Wolves by Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool in itself winning is not exactly unprecedented, but by 4-0 against this Wolves is a surprise. Wolves look nothing like their usual selves. I'm not sure if it was the fact that they were missing their talisman up front in Raul Jimenez. I hope for their sake that that's not the case because he's out for the foreseeable future. They looked defensively frail in this one. I mean, the Gini Wijnaldum goal, he was just allowed to dribble at them until he wanted to get his shot off. There was also a goal from a corner, the Nelson Semedo own goal, and then probably the worst of all was the one that Connor Cody, who had a nightmare, put on a plate for Mo Salah. And that wasn't Connor Cody's only bit of embarrassment in this one, because there was also that shocking dive where he went down like a sack of shite under zero contact. And I do want to talk about that one. I mean, the player knows that it's going to go to VAR. VAR are going to look at it and say, yeah, there was no contact, don't give the penalty. So why doesn't he just be a feckin' man, stand up, go to the ref and say, okay, I'm embarrassed, but yes, I took a tumble. Book me if you need to. Hold my hands up. But no, he decides to argue with the Liverpool players about it until eventually VAR comes out and goes, no, it's not a penalty. And he's like, all right then. That's enough of that anyway, lads. But before I move on to the star of the week, last time out I asked you which team across all of England's top 4 divisions has the lowest amount of points. Unfortunately, no one was able to provide me with the correct answer. The answer was poor old Sheffield United, who have that solitary 1 still. Before recording this video, I watched the continuation of the PSG Istanbul Başakşehir game, and at one point I thought, okay, PSG are going to set some kind of record for winning margin in this one. They only won 5-1 in the end, which didn't break the record, but they were creating chance after chance. Anyway, that's not the point. This week I'm asking which team across all of Champions League history has recorded the largest winning margin. Comment below if you know the answer. So, star of the week, and this time out I'm going for Kevin De Bruyne. Man City recorded back-to-back victories for the first time in the Premier League this season, which is a bit crazy for Man City, but Well, at least they got there in the end, and a lot of it is due to the fact that De Bruyne is finally back playing his best football. He looked dangerous against Burnley, and as a result, Man City looked dangerous against Burnley, and then this weekend, he looked dangerous against Fulham, so they looked dangerous against Fulham. They only won 2-0 in the end. It could have been 3, 4, 5, 6, and for each of those goals going up, De Bruyne probably would have been the one getting at least a contribution for them. He controlled the game, he created a load of chances, and he's this week's star of the week for me. Anyway lads, that's it for this one. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts on the game week below, subscribe for more footy chats, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.